Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Now desk. Today I am joined with Patrick Haan with GasBuddy, and obviously Memorial Day weekend is coming up, which means many may be on the roads traveling and obviously burning some gas. Patrick, first, what are you seeing on a national level as far as the gas price trends are moving heading into the holiday weekend?
Well, at least for now, the national average has declined for 4 straight weeks. The national average falling about 15 cents a gallon since mid-April. We now are looking at a price of about $3.57 a gallon. It's about 6 cents higher than last year, so a little bit higher than last year. But the good news is the trends have been downward. That's been true in Huntsville as well. The average price of gasoline in Huntsville about 3.19 a gallon. That's down about 4 cents in the last week. So certainly nice to see as 3/4 of the nation is preparing to hit the road for summer travel.
Absolutely, that's great to hear. And you mentioned Huntsville. Here in Alabama, I saw on GasBuddy, of course, the state average is around 3.17, 3.18 a gallon, kind of similar to Tennessee, which is also not too far from us up here in North Alabama. But how does Alabama and even Tennessee, this region, kind of compare to the remainder of the country?
Well, Tennessee and Alabama tend to be some of the cheapest states for gasoline prices, and a lot of that is really twofold. The proximity to refineries down in Louisiana and Texas, major pipelines that carry that gasoline up to Alabama and Tennessee keep the prices lower. In Tennessee, that's true as well. Again, low state gasoline taxes keep those prices down. So, really, taxes and the proximity are why both states are some of the lowest when it comes to gasoline prices.
Yes, sir. And so you would say Alabama residents should feel good about traveling this weekend?
Well, I think putting it into context, while prices are still a little bit above the long-term average, they're not record-setting, and some of the nation's lowest prices exist in Alabama. So it's certainly not a bad time to hit the road. All in all, we are still seeing some stations across Huntsville below $3 a gallon. That's certainly good to see. And there could be more stations that fall below $3 a gallon as we progress through the summer. Typically, gas prices don't peak in the summer, but before it, because of refinery maintenance that happens in the spring, we also change over to more expensive summer gasoline in the springtime. By the time summer starts, refineries finish maintenance and they start to really crank up output of gasoline. And that's what usually leads gas prices to decline as they have been for the last few weeks. And again, I'm hopeful that will continue for the time being.
Very true. And I was looking at the map, the county map in Alabama. Why might some counties in Alabama, especially if you look on like the southwest part of the state, why might those counties be a bit more pricey at the pump than, say, here in North Alabama?
Well, it can vary community to community. The amount of competition, the amount of stations can be a factor in what communities pay. It's completely normal to see anywhere from a 40 to 80 cent a gallon difference between the cheapest and most expensive stations in a given state. So again, a lot of that is just competition. Sometimes it's the cost of doing business in one area may be more or expensive, or the proximity to infrastructure can be a part of the reason why. How close you are or how far you away from the Colonial Pipeline can have a significant impact on prices too.
Right. Very good to know. And based on your own research and your personal knowledge over the years, what have you noticed about election years and gas prices, specifically presidential election years and the rise and fall of gas prices?
Well, not a whole lot of consistency. That is, any tie between elections and gas
Mhm.
prices tend to vary significantly. It's more seasonal. Gas prices tend to
Mm.
go up every spring, and those prices tend to fall as we get closer to the election. And again, that's true though of every year. It doesn't matter if the election is in the fall or in the spring. Gas prices kind of do their seasonal surge in the spring and they fall back in the fall. And again, a lot of that has to do with supply and demand. Americans drive more in the spring and summer, and they start driving less in the fall and winter. And again, keep in mind, summer gasoline tends to be more expensive. Stations can make the switch back to that cheaper winter gasoline starting in mid to late September. That's usually what brings gas prices down as we approach the fall weather. And certainly that can be coincidental as well with major elections.
Yes, sir. Well, that is all the questions I have for you today, but I want to thank you so much for joining in with me and chatting it up a little bit. But thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.